back to the whip with the big fat ass out. We. Good morning. Guten Tag. Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Where's the beef? Howdy, 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 howdy. Guten Morgen. Beef is very versatile. Yes, it is. That's true. Actually, from Texas, from Tejas. You're from Tejas? Like a year ago, bro. See you next time I do a mass unban. Oh, boy. Paul, any ideas where the next bunker will be located? No. None that I'm going to share with you, anyway. Thanks to whoever erased my mess up. Where is the Canadian Fuhrer? That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't gotten his fucking thing yet. Look at this. 38 people, 3 minutes in. YouTube doing its job yet again. Thanks, YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. All I ask is that you send out fucking notifications to the people that watch me. That's it. And just leave me the fuck alone. Can't even do that, though. Definitely can't leave me the fuck alone. Thanks for finally telling us where you live. Yeah, dude. Yeah, buddy. Now you guys know. I just happen to be on the homepage. No notification. Yep. That's pretty much the way it works. Well. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Which one are you in? Are you in the Bosnian part or the Herzegovinian part, huh? That's the question. Are you a Bosnian or a Herzegovinian? Do you know anything about the Ott Gap and if there's any room for legislation protecting mental health disorders in law? I don't. My cousin and I are watching, and he's never seen it all the way through. We are on season 9, episode 12. Which one? Is there a mixed part? I don't know. I don't know how it works in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So I finally watched the Weird Ways to Get High episode. My old roommate, Cass, who lived with me when I was first participating in these, used to. I'm not even kidding. Boof nutmeg. I mean, if you're gonna do it, I guess, go ahead. Boof mutneg. Hey, Paul, hope you're doing well in your undisclosed location. Well, thank you. I am. Nutmeg will fuck you up. Nutmeg will, like, if you eat a bunch of nutmeg, it'll get you all fucked up. All right, Bethany. Well, like, what do you think would make, like, I've got a few ideas, but well, I've got a couple of ideas on ocean shows that I want to do. Like I want to do one about the super deep ocean, like the abyssal plain, like all the weird little scavenger animals that live down there. The weird little sea cucumbers and the fucking crazy anglerfish and the weird ass fucking, what's that one that looks like a fucking xenomorph? There's like a thing down there that looks like a xenomorph that lives inside of the hollowed out body of a jellyfish. Like, I don't know, dude. Yeah, bioluminescence and all that shit. Have a wonderful day, Paul. Well, thank you, Gavin. Yeah, I think that would be a good one. That's like the most interesting part of the ocean to me, is that like super deep place where every time we send a probe down there or a camera down there or whatever, we discover like 5 or 6 like new species of shit that lives down there. You're specializing in deep sea invertebrates. Cool. That's pretty neat. That's a pretty neat. Think you're thinking of an anglerfish? That's what I said. I said an anglerfish with the little. Not to mention deep sea gigantism. Just take a look at the mega mouth shark and giant squid. Yeah. $5 for me to evangelize my Twitter post about my fire pit. Admire my stonework. Oh, okay. All right. I'll have to take a look at it. I'll have to take a look at it, Feems. Nah, the ocean is not scary, man. The ocean is just awe-inspiring and unknown. I mean, sure, there's some scary shit that lives down in the ocean, I'm not gonna lie, but overall, the ocean is not scary. What are those nasty eels that eat things? Baskin eel? I don't know, dude. I don't know, man. Hagfish. I like the ocean. I don't know why you ain't follow me. I post good takes sometimes. I gotta be honest with you, Phoebes. Like I don't follow hardly anybody, but next time I see you, I'll give you the followage. I'll drop the follows. Low key, it would be pretty dope to be an eel. It would. I don't know. The abyss and the unknown make me so anxious. I was scared of it when I was a kid, but now as an adult, I just find it super fascinating. And I love being connected with the ocean. I love being in the ocean. Like wading out into the ocean and letting those fucking breakers hit you. Oh my God, dude. That to me is being alive. Alive. Tide pools equals DFF. I love tide pools, man. When I was little, we used to get to go on these like field trips to some tide pools in California. And they're pretty awesome. Guys, look at my cigarettes real quick. Let me blow my nose so you guys don't have to see snot all over everything. Gross. Hot diggity dog. I live around it and being a couple miles out in it, and it still makes me uneasy how big it is. Yeah, I mean, uneasy is, I think, kind of natural when you're looking at the ocean. I've been a couple miles out in the ocean too. Another thing I would love to do is take a trip to the deep open ocean, like on a boat. and just be in a place where 360 degrees, you can see nothing but water. I've kind of been in that position before on a cruise ship. You know, when the cruise ship gets out into the deep cruising area and starts heading wherever it's heading, and that type, dude, I wanna be on a boat out in the middle of that. That would be fucking amazing. I want to take a long boat trip too. You could never do that. You'd panic, dude. There's a place where I just moved from, the Pontchartrain Bridge, the causeway there. When you're in the middle of it, so it's a 22-mile long bridge across, you know, from the north shore to the south shore of Lake Pontchartrain. And when you're in the middle of it, you can look 360 degrees around your car, and all you can see is bridge and water. You can't see the land on the south shore. You can't see the land on the north shore. Fucking crazy. Being on a bridge in the middle of the ocean. Paul, you can join me on the research vessel when I go to Antarctica. DFF live from Antarctica. Dude, could we even broadcast from Antarctica? Because I'd totally fucking go. But don't you have to, like, stay? Like, I watched a fucking whole documentary on people that, like, work at the bases in Antarctica. Like, the cooperative bases and shit, and how they, like, kind of go crazy up there. I mean, they all like it, but they slowly go insane. Yeah, it used to be the longest bridge in the world up until like 2008, I think, and then China built a bridge that's longer. But yeah, the Pontchartrain Causeway used to be the longest bridge in the world. I've been across it like 20 times, 30 times or something. It finally lost its luster for me living out there. The Thing kind of ordeal. No, they were just talking about, like, I can't remember the name for it, but being in the dark, because the people that winter over in Antarctica to keep the base from fucking freezing over, and, you know, do little maintenance things on the base and keep the home fires burning, like, they don't see the sun for like 6 months or some shit, and they get some kind of like depressive disorder that makes them go a little crazy. Pontchartrain's still the largest bridge over water. Cool. Going across that bridge has got to be one of the more incredible memories I have in life. It's an interesting bridge for sure. I'll never forget the first time I went over it. It was fucking nuts. But you know, pretty much anything gets normalized. The third or fourth time I went over it, I was, you know, I still appreciated the view out there, but I was like, okay, it's just a bridge. You know, just a long road with water. I'm a majestic creature. Yeah. Yeah, those of you that have like gimmick Paul accounts and shit, change them. And then when I unban you, you won't get immediately banned. Like, change the name of your account so that when I do these mass unbans, you can talk and you won't get immediately fucking banned before I even get a chance to read your shit. We don't do gimmick Paul accounts around here. So we don't do impersonation accounts. So change your fucking shit. It's not hard. Change your fucking dumbass channel name to something that isn't a fucking Paul account. And there you go. Do you unban everyone, or is there a permaban list? I unban everybody when I do a mass unban. I go into the back end of YouTube and I go to the hidden users list and I just hit the big X in the right-hand corner that unbans everybody. I like your hat. Yeah, thank you. It's an old hat. Yeah, you can be a gimmick Primus account. I don't care. They were cute for a while, Abby. Like, they were kind of funny for a while, but then, like, it's my fault because I laughed at a couple of them. And then now, like, there's 15 people that are doing different Paul accounts, and it became unfunny. And so now they get banned. This is the way it works. People don't understand that, like, a joke has, like, a half-life. And once you're over that half-life, it's like... Do you ban large quantities of people? I really haven't engaged in chat before. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I probably ban more than your average streamer does, but I also, like, no ban is permanent. It's like TJ's chat. Like, if you get banned over there, TJ's way less likely to ban you from his chat, but if you get banned over there, you're permed. Like, you're not getting unbanned. Whereas here, like, I'll ban you, like, I've probably banned people for misunderstanding them, but, regularly I do a mass unban, so it doesn't really matter. Banning is best used, I think, as a way to control, like, individual streams rather than, like, rid yourself of a certain element or whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't like stupid questions. Do roosters give you exploding head syndrome? I used to wake thinking I heard loud crowing from my rooster, but it was in my mind. No. I can't even hear the roosters in my house, honestly. Like, the neighbors that have them are far enough away that I don't hear them unless I'm out here on my porch, so it doesn't really matter. An option to time someone out until the next stream would be convenient. Yeah, well, there's two options. There's the 300-second timeout, which, typically is something that you have to do over and over and over on a stream because people will just come back and do it, or there's the ban. So I just, sometimes people get timed, but most of the time people get banned. Do the roosters? No, they don't. How's Dinor's ear? Slowly but surely getting a little better. Was a little less red yesterday. He's still, got an ear infection. So we put the medicine in it yesterday, and he was fetching a little bit out here. He seems to be feeling better, but he's still, you can tell it's still bugging him, so. If you had the chance to explore one planet or moon in our solar system, where would you like to go? I think going to, like, Jupiter's moon, Europa. Is it Europa, moon of Jupiter? Yeah. I think that would be dope because you would get to see Jupiter looming in the sky along with the sun. You know what I mean? Nighttime, Jupiter would just dominate the sky. It'd be fucking amazing to be on the surface of Europa. Plus, Europa is one of the moons where they think that there might be biological life. Space scares the shit out of you. I mean, space and the ocean, I guess. Both unknown. What is this? Get out of here. Both, like, dark, unknown places. I don't know. Space doesn't scare me any more than the ocean does. They both kill you. I'd be in awe of space, but I don't know about being, like, terrified of space or whatever. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna be exploring the fucking under ocean. I just like to stand on the fucking surface of Europa and look at the sky. Some people get pet skunks and descent them. It's a horrid practice akin to declawing cats. It must end. If you can't handle an animal, don't get it. All right, Sammy. They shouldn't descent a skunk. Nobody should have a pet skunk, okay? Period. They're wild animals. And nobody should be fucking getting sprayed by skunks like you, okay? So you can't pick and choose. The sheer vastness of space scares me. It's really difficult to comprehend something as vast as the universe, especially the observable universe is so massive, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of questions I have about the universe. I would love to explore it in such a way that I could answer those questions for myself in a layman's way, you know? Like, what's on the outside of the universe? That's the big one. Like, you know, the universe is expanding. The question is expanding into what? Expanding where? What's on the other side? The vastness of space comforting. Yeah. It really does help to put into perspective, like, how your problems are not really all that problematic. You know what I mean? Dude, skunks should not be fucked with. You just leave a skunk alone because they're better off. They're better off out there than being pets for people and getting descent glanded and shit. They're a wild animal. They live on the land. They're fine. But why? I don't know, because I said so. Because I don't want Scammy the skunk messing with the skunks anymore. He goes out. Have you read his super chats? Leave him alone. Observe the skunks. Everyone knows the Q live outside the universe. Oh, okay. Right, yeah, okay. So, like, let's say that you found a skunk and it was missing an arm or something, and you took the skunk in and you raised the skunk. That skunk can't survive out in the wild. That's different. That's like rehabilitating a wild animal versus taking a wild animal and making it like a domesticated animal. Skunks left alone. Capybaras, that's fine. Cappies love it. They're basically domesticated already. Is it okay for us to keep cats as pets and bring them into this world via breeding? I don't think anybody should be breeding a fucking cat. Like, you know where I stand on fucking breeding boutique animals and shit. Like, I don't think anybody should be breeding cats. I think if you're gonna have a cat for a pet, you should get it fixed. Period. So you don't think pets should exist? No, I don't think that boutique pets should exist while we have overflowing shelters. You're confused on my position. Okay, so I used to volunteer my time at a no-kill animal shelter, and I used to see the animals that they would pull from kill shelters that would have otherwise been killed be adopted out to people. And I would go and help pull animals from those kill shelters and see how many were in them. And then you see the dark side of breeding, right? So I also purchased a dog, my dog Boogie, from a breeder, and she had every kind of fucking medical problem under the sun because she was inbred and not taken care of well when she was a puppy. So, My position on pets is pretty fucking simple. Ethically, it should be done. So, if you want a pet, you should go to a shelter and get a pet. Because there are millions of animals in shelters right now that need a home. You should not go to a breeder to get a pet. If we get to the point where there's not enough animals in shelters anymore, then the government can license an ethical breeder to breed dogs and provide puppies for people and provide cats for people. But as long as we live in a world where shelters are overflowing with animals, it should moratorium on fucking dog and cat breeding and pet breeding in general. That's my position. As far as when it comes to like wild animals and shit, I'm just kind of bantering with fucking Sammy the skunk. You know what I mean? He should leave skunks alone. I guess you could have a pet skunk if you want. I don't agree with puppy and kitten mills, but the practice of keeping pets isn't. No. I'm fine with people having pets. I got no problem with it. Where did you get Dinor? Dinor was from a litter of puppies that one of Ashley's family members had. So he wasn't necessarily bred by a breeder. It was just an irresponsible litter of puppies from one of my ex-girlfriend Ashley's family members. There are breeders who claim to be ethical, but I also agree there are too many unwanted animals out there. Yeah. I'm not saying eliminate the race of pets, just vastly reduce strays, unethical breeding. All right, fair enough. No, I mean, you didn't misinterpret my position. You just never heard it. It's probably never gone over it when you've been around. But no, I mean, it's not, I have no problem with people keeping pets. I just have a problem with people keeping pets and purchasing pets from unethical people while there are just overflowing shelters where pets are put to death every day. Dogs and cats and other little animals that would make great pets are just killed every day in the shelters, and then people go out and buy them from breeders. And then oftentimes, I really think that owning a pet ought to come with a little bit more responsibility as well. Because in order to make sure that strays and shit don't happen, you have to be responsible for that pet. So many people will like get a pet and then it doesn't work out and they just kick it out. Like that happens with cats a lot. People will get cats, the cat will be destructive in some way, like claws at their couch, and they're just like, fuck you, cat, and they just throw it out. And then you've got a cat that started as a shelter cat that's now living out in the fucking wild again, and if it's not fixed, it's going to get pregnant, and there's going to be more cats because of it. That happens a lot. So there has to be some kind of fucking, impetus placed on the pet owner that you're taking responsibility for this. It's like a child. It's not like a fucking thing that you can throw out. And if you don't want to take that responsibility, you don't get a pet. Not everybody should be a pet owner. I agree. There are people that horribly mistreat their pets all over the fucking country, all over the world. You have to be willing to take responsibility for that thing's not just its life and continued like feeding and watering and existence, but its happiness too. Like you have to have a pet. Like if you have a pet, you have to take responsibility for it not being fucking miserable. Yeah, get a plant, get fish, It's okay to eat fish because they don't have any feelings. I had a horse when I was little named Sugar Baby. My parents lived on, it was like 10, 15 acres. I can't remember. And we had a big horse pasture with Sugar Baby in it. Sugar Baby was a workhorse that had reached the end of her usefulness as a workhorse, and we adopted her. And she lived a long life with us and had a big pasture to live in, plenty of salt lick. I used to have to feed her every day. We used to get big, giant bales of hay to feed her. Yeah, I don't want to hear everybody's like somebody was fucking abusing an animal story, okay? Like, I get it. People suck. Was she a Belgian? The horse? I don't know. I don't know what kind of horse she was. She was like, I don't know. She's kind of reddish brown in color with a dark mane. Birds are abandoned so rampantly. I volunteered at a parrot rescue. People don't realize that these animals live 50 to 80 years. We had over 400 birds. Yeah. So what I'm talking about, like, people get these animals that have complex lives and complex needs and need to be taken care of in certain ways, and they get them impulsively because they just want it. I'm guilty of this. Now, my story has a happy ending, but most don't. When I was a teenager, well, not even a teenager yet, when I was like 11, I wanted a fucking iguana in the worst way. And so my parents went to a pet shop and bought a baby iguana that was this big. There's a picture of me at 11 years old holding him, and he's wrapped around my thumb, and he can't even get his hands all the way around my thumb. That's how tiny he was when we got him. And we had him in a tank. He didn't have the right kind of light. We got him, the pet store sold us 1/2 of the type of light that he needed to be healthy in there. So he started to grow, and he started to grow, and he started to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And his tank pretty soon was too small for him. And it was when the tank became too small for him that we realized that his back legs were fucked up. They were like hard, like rock, almost ossified. And it was because he wasn't getting the right kind of light, and he didn't have the right kind of enclosure. My mom took him to the fucking vet, and the vet said, this lizard will die if you don't create the proper environment for it. And my mom said, what's the proper environment? And the fucking vet gave her all this fucking shit to read up on about how to own a bull iguana. And my stepdad built a giant enclosure for him. We got him the right light. And he bounced back, and he was 9 feet long from nose to tail. 9 feet, nose to tail. Giant fucking animal. And he lived a great life. But had we been average pet people, he probably would have ended up dead. Having a horrible, cramped, incomplete life. He had the most awesome iguana name ever. Iggy. The most thoughtful. Nobody's ever had an iguana named Iggy. That's what it was. It was metabolic bone disease. He had to have shots in his legs. Yeah, his name was Iggy. Big motherfucker. Yeah, pet shops should not be allowed to sell them. I absolutely agree. He was not cuddly at all. You don't really get to decide how an iguana is. Like, there are certain like, you've seen people with bull iguanas that just like sit on their shoulder and you can pet them and they don't really care and they're real chill animals. And sometimes they're not, and Iggy was not. I learned a lot about lizard zone and Iggy. They are very bull iguanas are very sensitive to females' menstrual cycles. Like when a woman, when you have a bull iguana and you live with a woman, or like I did, multiple women. I had all the sisters and shit too, and my mom. When somebody's menstruating, the fucking lizard goes nuts. The lizard gets real fucking aggressive. Something about the fucking, you know what I mean? Some pheromone that women put off or something. But yeah, no, Iggy was the only person that he would be chill with was me. And even then, I had to be careful handling him. Iggy had to have an incredibly diverse diet. Like iguanas, you can't just give them like lettuce and mealworms. You have to give them fruits and vegetables of all kinds and types. Like they need a really super diverse diet to grow. Yeah, me and Iggy had a falling out once, and it was the last time it was when I realized that Iggy didn't look at me like I looked at Iggy. It was when he was full grown, and I had let him out of his cage or out of his enclosure because he liked to come out. His enclosure was in the same room that I would sit and play Genesis in. And so Iggy would sometimes, I'd open up his enclosure and I'd let him come out. And sometimes he'd crawl up and like sit on me while I was playing video games. And he would like every once in a while, like nudge my ear and stuff. And I thought it was cute. I'm lucky I don't have a big chunk of my ear missing. Let's just put it that way. I was feeding Iggy one day, sitting cross-legged on the ground, and I had some, whatever it was, some lettuce I was throwing him. And he was, doing his thing. I used to love to watch him eat, and he liked to be fed. And so I was sitting there in my bare feet, and I'm feeding him lettuce. I'm throwing it across the room to him, and he's getting a little closer to me, blump, and I'm throwing him lettuce. And then all of a sudden, he cocked his head at me, and I threw him a piece of lettuce, and he ignored the lettuce, like he didn't even look at the lettuce. And then he did that. If you've ever seen a lizard move really fast, they move by whipping their bodies. And so he did that real fast, like towards me, and bit me on the bottom of my foot and took a chunk out of the bottom of my foot. His teeth were like razor blades, so I didn't even feel the pain until 5 or 10 seconds after he hit me. And that was it. That was I was like, fuck, dude, I bled all over the goddamn place. And after that, I thought about all the times that he had sat up on my shoulder while I was playing Genesis and would I used to think he was just being cute. He was probably sizing it up for a fucking So I'm lucky he got the bottom of my foot and not half of my ear, because he probably would have taken an earlobe straight off. His teeth were like razors. You have a Savannah monitor that it took over a year to gain his trust, and now he eats from your hand. He could take off fingers if he wanted. Cool fucking animals and stuff. But man, yeah, you know better than most. You gotta fucking know what you're doing to deal with those types of animals. Who the fuck knows, bro? Like that spooked me more than the actual attack. Are iguanas social? I don't think so. Like I think that you got to be careful putting iguanas together. They fight. So no. I don't think they are. I'm pretty sure that you're not supposed to, especially bull iguanas, they'll just kill each other. I hate to sound discriminatory, but reptiles aren't nearly as smart as mammals. Their lack of intelligence can create difficult communication barriers. I mean, it's just a different kind of intelligence, right? You can't relate to a lizard in the way that you can relate to a mammal. You don't have that like intrinsic. You're dealing with a very different part of the evolutionary ladder when you deal with a goddamn lizard. A different branch of the old tree of life. You know what I mean? They have different fucking drives and different fucking. Yeah, right. They have a direct and instinctive intelligence. Bearded dragons. I mean, Nova was one of my favorite lizards. How long did Iggy live? I honestly don't know. My parents finally got to a point where they realized that they were having trouble taking care of him. It was after I'd moved out, and they didn't want him to not have what he needed, and so they called around and they found an iguana sanctuary in California, or like a reptile sanctuary, who sent some people to come down and look at Iggy. When they looked at him, they couldn't even fucking believe he existed, and they were happy to take him, and so they took him to the iguana sanctuary, and I don't know if he's still alive up there or not. He went to live on a farm. Yeah. The paranormal episode, yeah. It was pretty fun. I watched part of it last night live. Reptiles are much smarter than people give credit. Rock iguanas and Cayman Island iguanas test smarter than 5-year-olds, can learn commands, and live like 65 years. Yep. It's just a different kind of intelligence. Their brain structure is so vastly different than ours that it's developed in a very, like someone said earlier, a much more instinctual way. Yeah, Scotty's got a black light in there, and his hair is bleached. So in the black light, his hair glows. They lack a prefrontal cortex, I think. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not a brain doctor. I'm not the son of a brain doctor, am I? I always wanted to be in one of your fucking plays. Marshall, 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 Marshall. Boom, 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 boom. What up, dude? I don't know if you checked your fucking Twitter yet, but that early fucking cut of the next Beauregard track is, dude, it bangs. I want to talk with you about it a little bit. I have some ideas for a couple of parts. I have a couple of ideas, dude. I have a couple of fucking ideas for a couple of parts. I have not started working on shoes yet. No, I need to meet with Marshall, period. Like, Marshall and I need to just sit down and do a Discord situation. Maybe after today's Highdeology, I'll go in and do that if Marshall is still available. We'll work out a time. Because, yeah, I want to get some tips and tricks on FL Studio, because I feel very lost. And I hate watching tutorials. I have this one idea that I think is going to sound amazing. We just got to find a sample for it. The In Nomine Patris et Filii Spiritus Sancti part, drop the beat out and just have like a heavenly choir, like, and then have the beat jump back in. I heard it when I was listening to the rough cut you sent me. I was like, oh, Boop. Boom. Launch back in. I love it when a beat drops out and then comes back in. Sample the Boondock Saints Choir OST. Oh yeah, maybe. I just want it to be, just like a heavenly note through that part. Boom, catch me riding on devils. Yep. That's the big idea. That's the big idea. Dude, the beat Marshall sent me is fucking insane. It's fucking insane. I love this song that we're working on. I love it. 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 It was so much fun to write for. Would you say there isn't any point in being a guitar player anymore? Absolutely not. A lot of hip hop artists are starting to experiment with live guitars and shit. I mean, there's a ton of examples of like hip hop starting to use live guitar, live drums. Like, no, play the guitar. The popular music of the day, it needs you no matter what you play. It's experimental out there. There's a lot of different fucking facets to it, and I don't know. Tech Nina, yeah. Tech Nine, fucking Post Malone has a number of songs that he plays guitar on. I believe I can't remember the name of it, but there's an Uzi Vert remix that's fucking amazing. That's got guitars on it. Fucking Mario Judy uses guitars. Keep playing guitar. Peep brought it back into style. Yeah, see, I'm not as familiar with Lil Peep shit, but there you go. Fucking there's a song I really like by Young Bands. He's on the track with YMH Namir and who's that fucking kid that did a bunch of songs with, I can't remember his fucking name, but he's a guitar player. And the whole beat is built around a guitar riff. So Young Bands, YMH Namir, and fuck, what's his name? YBN Namir. Okay, yeah. Sorry. I just turned my speakers up. Hey. It's just got like a really cool little dun 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 like guitar riff. Landon Cube, that's his name. Yep, Landon Cube. I remembered it right when you found it, Xenodroid. It depends. You look at someone like Trent Reznor, uses both synthesizers and real instruments or sampled real instruments. It's a real trip. It's about the execution and artistry, of course. I just turned my speakers up. If it ain't about money, I worry about it, yeah. I love that song. Trent Reznor, the go-to artist for hipsters? Really? Really? Do you think there's a difference between artists using digital instruments as opposed to real ones? There's a difference. It doesn't necessarily make a song worse or better. Like, that's the great thing about it, is the warmth that a live performed instrument adds to a song is sometimes unwelcome in a song. A synthesized song, a sampled song, sounds cold and steely and icy. It adds like a completely different feeling. You want that warmth, you get the real fucking, shit in there. You want that cold, icy, logical, almost math-like precision. You get the synthesized instruments. I personally think it's more authentic when they're actually playing an instrument. Okay. Whatever that means. Authentic. The problem with rock music these days is that the drums you hear are fake. Everything since the early 90s used a drum machine. You won't be able to unhear it now. I mean, it's true. A lot of drum tracks are fake now. And there's definitely like a noticeable like difference in warmth between live drums and synth drums. One of my favorite albums, if you want to hear Trent strip down a lot of songs to their basic elements, is called Still. And it's got a bunch of covers of songs on it, but with just him sitting at the piano and with live instruments and very minimal synths. So he's got a group of musicians around him. He's sitting at the piano, and he plays like The Becoming, which is one of my favorite cuts probably my favorite cut, honestly, off of The Downward Spiral. A number of other songs, play some songs off of The Fragile. Yeah, it's almost jazzy sounding. And but it just shows you how translatable the synth and heavily produced electronic kind of sound that was on that album is, how you could strip it down to its base elements, and it's fucking amazing still. That's cool, Sammy. Good to see you being a guitar player. That's Nito Petito. Do I like Bjork? Yes, I do like Bjork. I can't listen to like end to end to end Bjork for a long time, but I do like Bjork. What's that other fucking weird ass Swedish band? There's another like weird fucking Nordic band that I listen to. Or are they from Greenland? I can't remember. Björk. Sigur Rós. Yeah. The Beatles. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's the one. The Beatles. I didn't see. I didn't see the how many engines. You play your balls. Yeah, I like some Spanish music. Like I can't understand all of the words in it and shit. The Spanish that I do speak is very cursory and very basic. But I enjoy like corridos. I love like the sound of a fucking upbeat mariachi band playing. Keep talking like you understand music. Where's your album? What? I mean, I'm working on one. Does that count? Got how many cuts now? Two? A third coming? I remember you saying you hated mariachi music. I don't. It can be annoying if it's played constantly, but I actually enjoy the sound of a good mariachi band playing. Yeah, where's my number one hit? Yeah, I mean, I'm actually like, if you want to get real technical with it, I've 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 been a part. I've done 3 albums and well, 2 albums and change in my life. So when I was in high school, we put out an album called De La with Apple Nasty, and then Rodney and I made an album called Burn the Couch with a little 2-man band called Government Fun, and now I'm working on, a little EP or whatever the fuck it is with Marshall and the Beauregard Project. Yeah, don't have my platinum record. What did you record them with? De La was recorded on a 2-track tape recorder. Just a really shitty 2-track tape recorder. Cuts were recorded live on it, so it's a live album. Same thing with Burn the Couch. That was recorded with a shitty Radio Shack microphone plugged into Windows Sound Recorder. Recorded as waves. And then this latest album that I'm working on with Marshall is being done in FL Studio. Yay! Always been a fan of outsider music. Wave files make me laugh for some reason. I remember remember when I told you that I use FL, you were like, holy shit, because you didn't realize it was Fruity Loops. Yeah. I used to play around with Fruity Loops back in the day, and I had no fucking clue that FL Studio was Fruity Loops. So Marshall was telling me a little bit about FL Studio, and then I started talking about how, like, yeah, dude, well, I used to play around with this weird program called Fruity Loops, back in the day. And he was like, yeah, that's FL Studio. FL is Fruity Loops. I was like, what? I'm a boomer, dude. Is there any butt rock that you do like? Yes. Yeah, I like a little bit of ass rock, a little bit. Like Dio is butt rock, and I can get down with some Dio. Wasp is butt rock for sure, and I kind of love Wasp, to be honest with you. Go listen to Blind in Texas, and you'll hear a butt rock song that I like. I mean, I could appreciate some butt rock. I'm not gonna lie. Dio is not straight up metal. It's butt rock. There's nothing wrong with butt rock, but it is what it is, Do you like any death metal? Not really, no. I call that shit like Muppet metal or Grover metal. I can't hang with it. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm not trying to shit. How will DFF shows be different if quarantine ends? One of the things that we're talking about, I don't know how logical it is to expect us all to be living in the same place anymore. But we've talked about flying in to film batches of content. So like we would rent a studio somewhere, fly in, film a bunch of shows, a bunch of content, and then have that cut up and distributed throughout the other shows so that we have in-person content throughout the year. Well, heavy metal and butt rock have a lot of crossover. Ass rock is, it's hard to quantify, I guess. I know what it is, having grown up, with a well-defined idea. DFF Trap House, yeah, dude. I was gonna quote a lyric that I guess I could neighbor it. Do you mean what? No, I don't know. Heavy metal means the original metal stuff like Judas Priest and Maiden. Oh my God. See, this is why I don't like metalheads. This is why I can't talk with metalheads, yo. Because it's just an argument about what kind of metal is metal and what kind of metal and what classification of metal and which classification of metal is better and which one is fucking real metal and which isn't. And it's just like, oh my God, man. It's just fucking stop it. Cut it out. Metal, 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 metal. I think Blue Cheer was the first band that was called Metal. Metal. I actually subbed to this channel at first because in the intro and interludes, you would play cool indie rock and Mega Man instrumentals. I remember playing Mega Man. Metal, yeah. Who sucked out the feeling? Where'd you go now that everybody knows that you did a couple shows out there? I need an easy friend. I do with an ear to the land. I do. I'm never gonna get over that. No. Gut reveal? You guys have seen my gut before. It's not like I've never shown my gut. Yeah, cumbersome is a pretty good example of butt rock for sure. Line of bonus, beat it about the festival. On all day they say that about the bear. I hear a beacon. You know, you're just like, oh my God, just get out of here. What do you think music will sound like in 40 to 50 years? Dope. With that line of logic and definition, Ozzy Osbourne is butt rock as well. Kinda, yeah. Kinda, yeah. I wouldn't put up Ozzy Osbourne as like a shining example of like ass rock, but I would say that he fits, yeah. Bat rock, yeah. He'll be dead in 40 to 50 years at this rate. I mean, I'm fucking 40 now. I'd be 80 in 40 years. I probably will be dead. Like, what are you talking about at this rate? At the rate a human being dies? Yeah. You're right. Worst booty rock song you can think of. She got the look that kill. She got the look that kill. That kill. She got the look that kill. That kill. She got the look. She got the look to kill. Yeah, cherry pie would be up there too, for sure. Don't ever disrespect Pearl Jam. I mean, Mumble Jam. Pearl Jam rules. Your ears are just unruly. Yeah. Trying to think of like how another Pearl Jam song starts. When I think of Pearl, because I don't like Pearl Jam all that much. So when I think of Pearl Jam, I just think of Jeremy and Do the Evolution. Those are the two Pearl Jam songs that I can fucking chill with. The rest of them, like Alive, I can't even remember how that song starts. Gentleman, she said, never finish. No little body bell, somebody a bunch of bee. That was the best no. It's a soulful styling, Paul. Okay, hey, my bad. My bad, bro. I mean, yeah, there are definitely worse relationship problems to have than having a girlfriend that's obsessed with Pearl Jam, you know. Oh boy, man. What are we even doing? Have you had a girlfriend that had awful taste? Awful taste? No. Tastes that were different than mine? Yes. Are you going to get the COVID vaccine? As soon as I can, yeah. Like, as soon as it becomes available to me, I will be in line to get it. I'm pretty high. I just realized. I just did a mental check and I was like, whoa, okay, you're pretty high. That's okay. I mean, fucking Kurt Cobain was a mumbly fuck too. I am your mind, you were my mind, you were my mind, I was your mind. It's like, okay. What are you saying? Subtitles, please? It's a great song. Puddle of Mud, dude, yeah. It sounds better coming from him. I mean, yeah, of course it does. I am no Kurt Cobain. Had a hard time enunciating with all the marbles in his mouth, yeah. That's what Weird Al said. Puddle of Mud is legendary, yeah, dude. Legendary shit. Dive is a good song. Dive is a good song. I like Sliver a lot. I like I don't know, man. It's hard for me to pick favorites. Hard for me to pick favorites, to be honest with you. Blue, Downer. I mean, they're all great songs. All great songs. Yeah, Incesticide is a great album. I feel like people undervalue the deeper messages in the rock genre since the killer riff is half the joy, but there's some super deep rock songs. Okay, sure. What's the worst Nirvana song? I don't know. Excuse me. Maybe they don't have a worst song. You ever think of that? Dum, 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 doo, 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 doo. She had a moist vagina. Dum, dum, dum. Doo 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 doo, feels like any other. Doom, 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 doo 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 doom, 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 doo 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 doo. It's the second hole from Uranus. Marijuana. Oh yeah. I am a fan of The Doors. Yes. Yeah, pre-recorded Paul for sure. Pre-recorded Paul. You got me. You ever think of growing since you're in a legal state? No. When will you stop smoking with COVID going on? When I want to. And you're probably going to be banned. I'm just letting you know. Deep fake AI, Paul. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Teen Spirit was probably fucking Kurt's least favorite song. And, you know, like, but it still rocks. Like, that song was my entry into Nirvana. I had a friend bring over a Nirvana tape, and I heard that song, and I got my first headbanging fucking whiplash because of that song. So it was like, you know, you can't. It's super overplayed. I'll give you that, but the song fucking rocks. Heart-shaped box overplayed as fuck too, though. Like on In Utero, there are so many other songs that are fucking great, and Heart-shaped box is just completely and utterly overplayed. You like the anti-solo in the video, that down, 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 down. Yeah. Hey, Paul, I'm sitting at work today. I found out someone took a really big box of fish, put it in the back of a pick, and forgot about it for a month, and now I have to clean it up. Fuck, dude. I'm sorry, Mr. Naughty Priest. I'd give you a hand if I could. Fly me in. I'll fucking help you. We'll do it together. We'll get like one of those pressure washers. We'll spray all that fish out of there. That really fucking sucks. That's a shitty day. I thought you were going a gun symbol to kill the person who left the fish. What? The fuck? Did you ban the president's name? No, I didn't. So I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of, like, I'm on live chat now. A lot of comments are getting removed. I've actually had my own comments removed from, I made a comment last night on the premiere of the deep fat fried video. I'm a mod in the chat, and I said something about queefs, and the YouTube moderator team removed it. Like, yeah, people are saying Biden, so I don't know what you said about Biden. Yeah, I said something about queefs. I said queef juice or some shit. And the YouTube moderation team thought that, like, nope. It's like, what? Biden queef. People are trying to get it. Look, dude, look what they let asbestos fingers say. And then look at what they're deleting. Like, look at this shit. Look at this shit. That's what makes me think that there's, like, sometimes there's a YouTube moderator watching. Like, it might not be an algorithm. Your comment just got deleted. See? It has to be a person. We were talking about this on Pimp Stream. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I had a whole conversation with one of them the other day in hopes that it might be a person. So my beard is starting to do something weird. Typically by now I would have trimmed it a little bit around the edges, but I haven't in over a year. And I want to show you guys this shit. It's starting to do something that's kind of cool. Let me get this hair out of the way so you can see just beard. Okay, so look. You see what it's doing? It's starting to, like, come to a point. Yeah, it's pointy. What do you think about that? That's like, it just does this. It's like starting to come to like a point. Cool. You're a wizard, Harry. Yep, they do that. Fucking A, man. It's also, you can see how far it's grown out this way, too. It's fucking huge. I really like it, though. It's very nice to touch. Very soft. And it's starting to, like, get to the point where it takes care of itself. Like, it's growing long enough to where it, like, shapes itself into this, like, cool. Beard. Thanks, Jax. curling under or behind on the sides? Kinda, yeah. Just it's very fluffy over here. If I pull it out, you can see there's tons of fucking hair here. But it just kind of naturally. Do I look like someone who cares what God thinks? Starting to get the streaks in it too. See that one? It's like a gray streak right here happening. Yes. Yes. I shed like a dog though. I'm not even gonna lie. I shed like a fucking dog. There's hair flying everywhere. Like watch. Let's see if I can get some hair. Yep, there's some. Look at that. I shed like a fucking dog. I shed worse than Dinor does. Vanity. My favorite sin. Ding, 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 ding. No, 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 no. Ding, 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 ding. He's an absentee landlord. He's a sadist. Worship that never. Braid your beard. Maybe I will. Maybe I will, and maybe I won't. What's that from? That is from The Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves and what's his name? Al Pacino. There you go. Really good flick. Dunkachino. Take a look at my mocha blend. Keanu Pacino. He gives man instinct. He gives man this powerful gift, and what does he do? I swear, for his own sick amusement, he sets the rules in opposition. Huh? Look. Don't touch. Touch. Don't taste. Taste. Don't swallow. Keanu Reeves. Whoa. Why lawyers, Dad? Why the law? Hello. Hello, friendo. What do you know? Good morning. You gotta go potty?
You gotta wake up first.
Yeah. Captain Sleepy Pants over here. Come here. Let me take a look at this ear. I haven't seen it today. Can I look? Just let me look. Hey, come here. Come here. Let me take a look at your ear. What do you think? It's less red.
Yeah, there's still some gunk, obviously, but
It's still gunky, but it's less red today. It looks okay, buddy. It looks okay. Looks like you're getting better. Do you think YouTube was better before people could make money, or has the partnership program improved the site? I mean, the partnership program is so old. Like, YouTube started the part. I was made a YouTube partner before the Google thing. So I got YouTube partnership in 2008, 2007. And allowing people to make money on the platform didn't hurt the platform. What hurt the platform was the censorious nature of Google. Google took over and slowly but surely started to, like, pick apart what you could say and how you could present yourself, and it slowly but surely became this fucking censorship ridden platform that we see now, where things are artificially pushed to the top and things are artificially suppressed. Like, that's what ruined YouTube. It wasn't people making money on YouTube.
So did you say, like, before it was more about, like, profit sharing, like they wanted you to make money so they could make money?
Right.
And now Google's like, we're just going to make money off of you anyways, but we're not going to pay you.
Right. Like, YouTube, back when it was its own company, wanted to encourage people who got a lot of views. Like, people that ambiently got a lot of views, they wanted to give them an opportunity to share in the profits of the site so they could start putting ads on their videos and stuff. And it worked. It was fine. It allowed people to make better quality videos. It allowed people to reinvest in their production, and that's fine. That was all great. Yeah, so it had nothing to do with the partner program and the money making on YouTube. It was Google 100% that killed YouTube and made it what it is today. But think of the children. Yeah, I love that YouTube tried to split itself off into like a YouTube Kids area, and that was just rife with insane, crazy, like sexualized cartoons and shit. Just like YouTube can't fucking win for losing. Like, every time they try and add some fucking new layer of censorship, it's exploited and it makes things worse. Now they've got like either an algorithm or people that they've hired jumping around to live streams and like policing the chat. Like, that's the problem. It's like, get the fuck out of here, YouTube. Oh yeah. Abusive family channels, yeah. Yeah, channels that are based around people like bullying their kids, playing pranks on their children. What you doing, D? No boofing. Come on. If it's bugging you, you come back over this way.
Did you go potty yet?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Good boy. I would let him boof if it wasn't at people that were just walking down the street. How's he doing? He's doing okay. He's still got an ear infection. We're still medicating it. He's going to be getting ear drops for 2 weeks. So He's doing okay, though. He's eating, he's playing at night like he usually does. He did some fetch last night. With how far censorship has crept into every media platform these days, I'm starting to think we might need to start discussing extending free speech protections to the internet in some way. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The internet has needed free speech legislation for the longest fucking time. It's become the new public square, but it's like a public square where people fucking can slap a piece of tape over your mouth and usher you out if you say the wrong things. It's ridiculous. Like, the internet has been in dire need of like national level legislation that protects free speech for the longest fucking time. I've been an advocate of extending freedom of speech protections to the internet for a long time. But my guy, private company. Yeah, well, if your private company is restricting freedom of speech, then your private company is in violation of the Bill of Rights. And your private company can either conform or fold. Have you ever cared about other species of animals other than dogs? What? The internet is the only public forum for most people nowadays, especially with COVID. It's the main social environment now, so a company shouldn't be allowed to control that. Exactly. Exactly. Remember, free speech protections do not equal hate speech protections. Exactly. And freedom of speech does not equal freedom from consequence. Some speech has consequence. So, Paul, did you see what happened in Nevada with the progressives? No. Unfortunately, hate speech is free speech. Sure. And so is the consequence of it. Eminent domain, YouTube, and make it Biden tube. No, God, let's not name it Biden tube. Who's to decide what hate speech is? The hate speech experts. I don't know. Speech is a sticky fucking subject, and it always has been, and it always will be, and it should be. It's clear that some restriction is required. It's clear that absolute free speech absolutism is not a tenable fucking position in the modern world, but it needs to be fucking protected. What about indirect threats of violence, Little View? You think that should be free speech? Like, not just somebody saying, I'm going to kill you, but somebody saying, like, be a real fucking shame if somebody were to fucking hurt your mom or something, you know? Be a real shame if something like that were to happen, if your mom got hurt. You think that's an indirect threat of violence? Nobody's saying they're going to do anything to your mom. You see what I mean? This is why speech is a sticky subject. I'm sure there's legal precedent. I mean, there's some legal precedent, but it's all sticky. Like, speech is, like I said, speech is a sticky fucking subject. And it should be. It has to be. in order for speech to remain free. It has to be. We have to fucking know the difference between speech and violence. And we have to err on the side of speech. If a private company owned all the roads, people would be defending their right not to let certain people drive on them over things they say online. Possibly, yeah. I mean, that's a slippery slope, but it could be a realistic slippery slope. So it looks like Bernie Sanders, progressives took over the Democratic Party in Nevada, but the whole Democratic Party in Nevada got pissed and basically quit. Okay, I don't know. I'll have to read about it. I haven't heard anything about it. So I'll have to do some reading about that and figure out what's going on myself. Are there not decades of free speech case precedents that could be used instead of big tech nerds' feelings? Well, that's the problem with having speech policed by a private company and not have a standard of speech that's enforced nationally. So, yeah, I don't think that the fifis of the tech nerds that own Twitter and Facebook and all the other social media platforms should be the end all be all on what you can and can't say and how you can and can't say it in the public space. But there was consequence in the public space. You understand? Like, think about the actual public square back in the day. Okay? Think about pre-internet, pre-mass communication. People wanted to spread their ideas beyond themselves. So they might go to the public square and set up an apple box and stand on it, right? And they start talking. Dinor?
Dinor, please. Sit your buns down.
A group of people come to hear that person talking. And let's say that person says something that those people find offensive, hateful, or violent in its rhetoric or whatever. Those people might throw rotten fruit at that person. They might walk away and not listen to that person. They say that's part of free speech too. Free speech is only free speech if freedom from speech is included in it. It's just like freedom of religion. You can't have freedom of religion if freedom from religion isn't baked into the pie. So you can talk shit in the public square, but there needs to be robust tools for people to police their own fucking feeds. So if you say some stupid shit, they're not going to stop and listen to you the next time you're up on your Apple box. And they're not going to hear your fucking words anymore. You see? This is why I back this 2-account or 3-account solution that I've talked about so many fucking times when it comes to the internet. I think that in concert with, a nationalization of these fucking social media platforms, at least when it comes to freedom of speech, would fix a lot of the problems of the internet. A lot of the problems of communication and not knowing if you're talking to a real person or a fake person or a troll or not a troll or, all this fucking distance. It's like that shit didn't fly in the public square. Like if people were having a fucking conversation in the public square or they were listening to someone talk and having a back and forth with that person, and you're out there trolling, going tweedly day, tweedly day, tweedly diddly, the fucking crowd is eventually going to grab you and usher you out of the fucking square. But now we live in a place where the new public square is that, but you can't grab the guy going adding nothing, subtracting everything from the fucking conversation, because as soon as you grab him and remove him, he's back as a ghost going. If we don't handle that, we can't handle the problems of free speech on the internet. We can't extend public fucking square status to the internet without making it the public square. And so long as idiots can just steamroll every fucking conversation and fucking bots can make conversations appear to go one way and not another way. We can't have freedom of speech on the internet. We don't even know who we're talking to anymore. That has to end. So we have to go after this. We have to go after this idea that the way that we access the internet now is outmoded, it's outdated, it's become a problem, it's become a predatory problem, not just a fucking communications problem. It's become a predatory problem. Children are being preyed upon because of this. Every day. Every second of every day, somebody's being groomed online by some fuck that's got 90,000 accounts and he's bouncing his fucking connection through 2 VPNs. It's ridiculous. Has to end. There has to be accountability like there is in real life. Children shouldn't be allowed on the internet. Well, they're going to be. So here's the answer. 3-account solution. Your access to the internet is granted to you as a citizen of this country, just like your social security card is. And when you reach the age of like 5 or 6 years old, you get access to the Kindernet, where nobody else that's on it is outside of your 6 to fucking 12 age range or whatever the fuck it is. Maybe there's different sections. Maybe there's like a 6 to 10, and then there's like a 10 to 12, and then there's like a 13 to 16. And all of these places are heavily fucking policed and heavily monitored so that if a parent uses their child's numbers to start grooming children on the internet, it's pretty fucking easy to find out who done did it, isn't it? Pretty easy to send an agent over there with some handcuffs and zip tie the fucking pedo, right? Then, when you become 18, you get access to the entire internet. Da-da-da-dun, dun, dun, dun. And you have 2 accounts. You have one anonymous account that doesn't show your personal information, and you have one personal account that shows, basic personal information about you. Your name, has a picture of you, etc. You got one anonymous account so that you can make speech on these platforms that isn't necessarily directly tied to your person. So if you have like a job or you're in a family situation where you're afraid that if your family finds out what you really think about something, you've got this anonymous account that can't be tied to you by anybody. You can post on that. If you want to add a face to your message, if you want people to know who you are, you use your main account. If you're banned on your if somebody fucking doesn't like what you have to say on your anonymous account because you're using it to troll, and you get banned doing that on your main account, you only have one option. Come back on your fucking face account and keep doing it and get banned again, and then you're done. Just like in the public square, your dumb ass is not welcome in the fucking conversation anymore. You've been ushered away so that we can have a conversation as people. Boom, boom, boom. 3-account solution to save the fucking internet and to make freedom of speech possible and viable on the internet. I've never heard another human being espouse this idea. How would that impact children's access to information for learning? Do you mean children wouldn't be allowed in areas where they could post in groups with adults? Yes. So I would allow them access to information based on what kind of information children need at that age, right? So that's why I said like maybe the Kindernet, as I call it, when kids are first allowed on the internet, is broken up into age groups, much like school is, right? So when you're 5 and 6, you've got access to stuff that 5 and 6-year-olds need to have access to. Basic math, basic grammar, little programs that help you learn that, little cartoons that are about learning that, whatever, right? Then when you're like 6 to 8, you've got access to 2nd and 3rd grade stuff. basic multiplication tables and more complex grammar and stuff to help you and stuff that can be integrated into your learning experience. You know, you go to school and then your teacher has a website set up on the Kindernet that you go to, and she has a bunch of your tests there to do, or your homework to do, or practice problems for you to do, or whatever it is, right? One of the reasons, like, I don't want to go into it a bunch of different times, but I kind of have to do this. So those of you that have already heard this shit, I'm sorry, but when we're talking about things like this, I have to give people my reasoning. I was preyed upon on the internet at a very young age by older, mostly men, some women, who were looking for young children on the internet. And it was completely unrestricted, and I thought there was nothing weird about it. And it happened endlessly as I was a kid on the internet. And it's still happening. So that's where this idea's genesis came from. How do we control that? Even before the internet, the duck almost got you. Yeah, that wasn't necessarily before the internet when that came down. That was in the early days of the internet. But yeah, on the CB radio, they were there. You know, I've described it before as it being like I would go into these early kind of chat rooms. We're talking like, yeah, we're talking the 90s internet. We're talking 1991, 92, 93. I would have been 11 years old when this shit started happening. 13. I was in a whole ass fucking like sexual phone sex, internet sex, send pictures of herself to me relationship with a 29-year-old woman when I was fucking 14 years old. That story is funny, but not kind of not funny. So that's one of the main ideas behind this 3-account solution, because it limits children's access to stuff they shouldn't be seeing at ages they don't need to be seeing it at. It keeps them focused on things they should be learning about and things that are made for them, and lets them socialize with each other. Boom, 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 boom. And then when people are old enough to go out into the wide world, they get access to their 2 accounts, their anonymous account and their public-facing account. One of them, basic personal information about you. One of them, whatever you want to name it.
They can have their own entirely separate Facebook or entirely
Right.
separate YouTube.
They lose all access to the Kindernet when they turn 18. When you become an adult, you don't get to go anywhere on the Kindernet anymore, and any adult that uses a child's login to prey on children will be very, very fucking easy to find and police. You're talking about protecting children from being sexually abused. So, that is one huge component of this, because it limits it in 2 ways. Number one, it keeps children segregated to an area of the internet. And number 2, it adds accountability to every account that's used to access that, so that people that do, and they will, use their children's information to get on the Kindernet and groom a child, it's going to be real easy to come fucking arrest that person. It's going to be real easy to find out whose parents are doing this or whose older brother is doing this. You see?
It would necessitate at least the Kindernet being US only.
I like how Paul says he doesn't know how to fix society, then pretends like he knows in the next stream. Bye. What are you fucking talking about? Like how the fuck am I talking about fixing society? I'm talking about fixing one aspect of society, the internet. And this is just an idea that I have. Go fuck yourself. Don't come back. Fuck. Outside of protecting children, the 3-account solution that I propose would also protect speech on the internet. Speech is infringed in a number of ways on the internet, and censorship by the people that run the platforms is only one of those. Speech is infringed in trollish ways when people come in and just, just to make fucking hay or just to fucking disrupt a conversation. People come in as agents of some other ideology trying to sow discord and shit. There's all kinds of pressure on your freedom to say whatever you want coming from all different directions right now because it's utter chaos. Because I, as a single human being, can be 10,000 people. I can be 10,000 people or more. You can get rid of me only for me to come back the next second, literally, and make the same comment to you. You can never get rid of me. You can never do anything to excise me from your conversation and thus preserve the actual fucking communication that's going on. That's part of freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is freedom from speech. You're in the public square and somebody's talking some bullshit you don't want to hear. You can turn around and walk away. On the internet, you can't. Your choice on the internet is to either succumb to constant harassment or learn to ignore it or just leave the internet.
Some coffee.
I'd love some, baby. Absolutely love some. Thank you so much. Want some coffee, D? You can't have any. You can't have no coffee. You can't get no coffee. You can't get it. You can't have no coffees. As soon as Facebook became huge, I was like, wait a minute, my friends and employers can see the minutia of my life and what I put on there. No thanks. Yeah. I mean, look, it's a data collection website. So is Twitter. So is everything now. It's all taking your speech and using it to sell you shit and to categorize you and to spy on you. With this 3-account solution comes full 100% ownership of all of your metadata. You get to decide whether or not you want to sell your metadata to people. So if you want to make ads better for yourself, then a company can give you money for access to certain aspects of your metadata so that they can make your ads better for you. Why not 4 accounts? What would the other account need to be needed for? Poor D. I'm sorry your ear hurts, buddy. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. You look a little cold, though. You want to go inside? Let's go inside. What? I don't want you to be out here getting cold with an ear infection. You already went potty. You already did your potties. Shoo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Shoo-doo. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. La-da-da-da. Blah, blah. Shoo-doop-doop-doop-doop. Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender. Pretending that I'm doing well. And VPNs cannot be taken away. This is like trying to put a genie back into the bottle. Okay. It can't be done. Yes, it can. No, it can't. Yes, it can. No, it can't, dude. Yes, it can. Maybe it won't be, but it can. No, it can't. Yes, it can. We're talking about changing the infrastructure of the internet, modernizing it. What do you think, like, the internet is always going to be the same fucking shit? Let me tell you something, dude. The internet is a very different place now than it was in 1991 when I first started getting on it. And it's going to be a very different place in 20 years than it is now, dipshit. Can't do it. How would you do it? Can't do it. You can't do it, dude. How do you get other countries to comply? Other countries will comply. Or else. You know what I'm talking about. No, I don't know. Let the eagle soar. Joe Biden falls on the button. That would suck.
Dude, his dogs got kicked out of the White House.
They did?
Yeah, they bit Secret Service.
Joe Biden's dog bit the Secret Service?
Yep.
Ridiculous.
Can't even train his dogs. How can he run the country?
Good point. Biden roasted. His dog learned about roaches. His dog learned about attacking Secret Service.
They're trying to blame it on it being the shelter dog and not just...
Dude, man, fuck that. Blame it on being a shelter dog?
You probably saw Biden biting fucking Jill's hand. And like,
Man, fuck that. Who said that? Did he say that?
just in some of the articles, like, it's the first shelter dog that's ever been in the United States.
Oh my God, fuck those people. If that dog is mean, it's because it wasn't socialized properly. Period. End of sentence. End of discussion. You really think the Secret Service was going to be shitty to the fucking president's dog? Get real. That dog is fucking just violent. It's not the dog's fault. Yeah, exactly. It's the fucking owner's fault. Joe Biden probably fucking doesn't even know that dog. He got it for optics. Probably spent a grand total of 15 minutes with that dog. You really will look for any excuse to discredit Biden, huh? His dog bit a fucking Secret Service guy. Did it happen or no? I mean, I'm not looking for reasons. Did it happen or no?
Some people really can't understand sarcasm or facetiousness.
No, they really can't. That's just, I mean, one of the internet's most fucking common problems. Just like there's a whole generation of people for whom sarcasm just was never explained, I guess. It's like, holy fuck, man. Do I have to say /S? This ain't Reddit. Yeah. Yeah, it ain't. So, Marshall, you got like half an hour? I'll give you a Discord call here. I'm about to end this shit. I'll give you a little... All right, I'll give you a little ring-a-ling then here in a minute. Let me get all my shit inside. And we'll yik-yak. All right, I'm going to...